All right, so now let's look at how do we add them? Okay, so let's say we have multiple vectors. How do we add them? I have vector A. Oops, let's not do that way. And I have vector B. I've got these two vectors here, and I want to add them. I want to find out. Well, let's put it this way. Two people push on a box, one with vector A, one with vector B, and I want to know in what direction is the box going to move, and what is the total force that the box is going to feel. All right, what is the actual one it's going to feel? So in order to determine that, we need to add these two. Okay, so we're looking for what is A plus B. Okay, so when we add them, all we're doing is we're taking the two vectors that we have, we're drawing them tip to tail. Purple. Like that, correct? Okay? And we know that from doing vector walk that it should look something like this, right? Our results should look something like that. Right? We go from where we started to where we end. That's what we get when we add the two together. Okay? Hooray. Great. But let's break it down and figure out why exactly does it work like this. Right? It's fine and dandy that you did it on the vector walk and that I just did it here. But why does it end up being that way? Okay? And to do that, we need to take them, we need to break them into components. All right, we're going to look at what happens with the components. Let's see. So use this tool. Okay. So let's draw our vector A. No, go away. And our vector B. Okay? So there are our two vectors. Go away. And what I'd like to do is I want to, again, find out how come I get that vector R? What's happening? Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two vectors and I'm going to break them up into components. Okay? So I've got components of this guy right here, correct? This would be, I'll go back through and label them all in a short moment. And that one, correct? So if this is A sub x, and this is A sub y, right? Okay? And we're going to do the same for vector B. We know that this is vector B. What did I do? Let's do that fun color over there. All right. This vector goes this way, right? B sub x goes that way. All right, imagine, again, shining that light down, we're going to get a vector on this side, okay? And brown. We get this vector here, okay? Where this is B sub x and this is B sub y. Good? Okay, awesome. All right, so all we're doing is we're taking things we already know and we're squishing them all together now. Okay? What can you do with vectors in terms of how you put the order you put them? What can you do? Do you remember? If you're going to add them up, what's like one really important, cool thing? Anybody remember? Yeah, it doesn't matter the order. Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rearrange these components. All right? So to me now, vector A and vector B are gone because we have the bits that make them up. Okay? And what we're going to do instead is we're going to redraw the components themselves and ignore everything else. Does that make sense? Okay? And I'm going to put them in an order that makes makes things nice. Okay? So give me that. Can I just take you and move you? I can. Sweet. Maybe I can. No. I'll use this tool. Yes. And then I will take you. So I'm going to take a sub x, and I'm going to bring them over here. Okay? And then, because you told me I'm allowed to do it, right? You redrew that vector walk thing like 4 times, and you're probably pissed at me the 3rd time through, right? But I'm going to take then b sub x, and I'm going to draw him tip to tail, right? So we're going a sub x plus b sub x, okay? So I'm going to draw him tip to tail. So the tip of A is connected to the tail of B. Then I'm going to take a sub y, and I'm going to draw him tip to tail. Something like that. Okay? And then I'm going to take b sub y and do the same thing. So what I've done now is I have broken A and B into components and then reordered them to make, if you ignore this little bit right here, which we can do because essentially this is just deleting that, right? Just canceling that piece out. We now have a nice right triangle. Correct? Okay? That right triangle is our vector r. And if I draw the same one over here, they're kind of close, right? Kind of close. Again, drawing them doesn't always come out to be the best, right? But they're pretty close. So when we're adding all these vectors, the resultant is really just the combination of all the components together. Okay? So you can always just take the components and add them up. Add the x's, add the y's. Ooh, but that leads us to our next thing. Okay?